and welcome to week 2 of Coffee and Cards with Linda from lindaspapercraft.co.uk, and this month we are using the circle sayings, and we're making a square card today. I'm just going to have a slurp of my coffee actually, just a moment. Right, okay, see, coffee and card, as it should be. And so this time I'm experimenting with different shape cards at the moment, so I've gone for a square one this time. I think it's 12.5 centimetres. Yes, it is. It's 12.5 centimetres square, so these bits are 12 centimetres square. And I'm going to show you a technique of how to get this circle of flowers, because as you can see on the stamp set, it's just a semicircle. So let's get our stuff out. Ooh. This time I've checked the envelope before I've started. Right, so these little flowers are actually retired, but they were, at time of recording, in the clearance rack. Always worth looking. Diamantes, embellishments often come up in the clearance rack, so it's always worth checking that out. So I've got a piece of paper for your stamping, a nice square envelope. And then we've got a Starry Sky card base, one for inside, one for the front. And then I've got, now you've got a little piece of paper like this. This one I've embossed using the basket weave embossing folder. This one I embossed using the Basics 3 embossing folder set, which is an online exclusive, so you have to go to see them. They're not in the catalogue. To www.stampinup. No, it's lindaellis.stampinup.net. There you go. lindaellis.stampinup.net. I always put that address underneath anyway if you want to go and look at my shop. But you have to go onto Stampin' Up website to see these. And they're really good. 3 different basic ones, but they're absolutely gorgeous. Using them all the time. So, let's get on. Right, so we need our stamping bit. I'll put that there so you can still see it, and I'll pop that to one side. So I'm going to show you a little technique on how to do this. First of all, when you're putting these stamps on, particularly if you're not very good, if you are new, you can distort them really easily. Okay, which is one of the good things about these, but we really want that to follow the shape of the circle punch. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to drop it onto the paper, on my backing paper, grid paper, that's the word I'm looking for, and it will naturally take the shape it's supposed to be. So if you've got particularly like these ones, which are very thin stamps, it really helps if you do that, because it means that they take the shape of the circle you're trying to punch out. So I'm just going to pop that onto my block, and I'm using Tahitian Tide for my flowers. Now, because that's Starry Sky is quite a neutral colour, most blues are, so you know, use what you've got, use what you want. So you just need a colour and a green. Right, so that is the nice thing, because Stampin' Up ink colours are a curated collection. They do virtually all go with each other, so it's quite easy to come up with colour combinations. So I'm just going to stamp that down, okay, like that, beautiful as it is. And then I'm going to ink up again and turn it round, and you can see here there's a flower on this side and some leaves on that side, and now I've got the flower on this side and the leaves on that side, and you are just lining them up. So the little flower goes between the leaves. So it's quite hard to do it when I don't have your head straight over the top. But I think, yeah, there we go. And now we've got a circle of leaves. Now I think I found it's a bit bland, that, but if you compare the two, what I've done is I've coloured the leaves, and it's a very different look, I think you'll find, from just doing the blue. You can leave it just the blue, or you can add the green like I've done. So I've used Parakeet Party Blender pen, which is here, and I've used the narrow end because I'm colouring a much smaller end. The wider line, wider end, narrow line, narrower end. And I'm just going to go around and colour all these leaves in. And I'm literally just starting at the point, and or not even, and just colouring in that little triangle, just with a couple of lines of ink. And I think it just really makes a difference. And talking about going together, these three colours are all in the 2022-24 in colours. Got them all? I have. And always the in colours go together very, very well. Right, so, and now I'm just going to stamp the happy birthday. And I'm going to stamp that with Night of Navy, which is one of our neutrals, which is, it literally goes with everything. It's one of my favourite colours. So I'm just going to pop that in the middle. There we go. A little bit wonky, but it's a handmade card. And then we're going to take our massive 2 3/8 punch. It's 6 centimetres in diameter. I have never seen such a large circle punch. Okay, and I'm just making sure that's in the middle, that I'm happy that's in the middle. So I'm just checking. I'm holding it in place, but I haven't cut it yet. Once I'm happy, I then close the punch. So, there's nothing worse than all that work and then you punch it out wrong. So now it's just a case of gluing it all together and grabbing some dimensionals for the strip. So what I'm going to do is glue on my embossed piece. I'm running out on that one. Here we go. That's better. She says. Coming out. There we go. And then I'm just going to glue this to here, roughly about there. Just going to put some glue that bit there. You need quite a bit when it's raised like this to make sure that it does stick. Okay, so I'm just going to move it up a touch. There we go. And then I'm going to put dimensionals across the whole thing. So, oh, our next door neighbour's dog has suddenly got very barky. I think some people are walking an Alsatian down the bottom, across the bottom of his garden. He's not pleased because it's his garden. So I'm just using up the bones of my pad of dimensionals. That one will fit there. I was thinking this one was ready to throw away, but it's not quite. Is that going to fit? Yes, it is. And put that one there. Okay, I can officially throw this one away. Let's get this one out. These are generally the bits left over from my classes. which I run, if you don't know, I run in-person classes in Sale in South Manchester. And I also run a couple of Zoom classes a month as well, so you can check out the details on my website. Details are below. Not ready for this yet. Rushing ahead. So now I'm going to pop these on here. When you're sticking a large area of white on the front of the card, I tend to prefer to use double-sided tape. So this is my Stampin' seal. And I'm just going to, as you say, it goes on clear. The only downside with this, no wriggle room. Once you've pressed it down, it's not going anywhere. But it doesn't leave, sometimes you get telltale lines with wet glue, which are noticeable on such a big area. So you just go in, find out roughly where you want it, just check, happy with that, then press. Once you've pressed, you can get it off by huffing on it, by basically lifting a corner and then breathing on it to make it slightly moist, and it'll come off, but you don't generally save the front bit. Well, one piece will end up being wrecked. So, and then we'll pop this on. A fellow demonstrator, Barry, draws on the back of his dimensionals, so then you can tell when you've taken the backs off. Which is a genius tip, which I keep forgetting to do. It's one of those things you remember, you know, when you're actually doing it and you're like, oh, forgotten again. Right, so again, I'm going to use my seal on this piece. It's very sticky. Just one across the middle for good luck. Just double checking I am actually sticking it in the back, and I'm just getting the top, bottom and side margins equal, and then generally the rest of it fits together quite well. So there we go. So that's the inside and that's the outside, and we're just going to have a go and pop our little flower. Should we try with this putty end again? We succeeded last time. So, just pop one there. So two at the top, one at the bottom. I think I'm a convert to this. I do think it's grab and sort of push off. There we go. Right, so there we go. That's the end of week 2. I've lost the lid to my seal, so that protects it when it's in the drawer. Okay, so card 2 there, and I shall see you all next week. Bye.